Hello, lovely people. I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, Raina Reads Stuff. I am here in the book shack. Today, I want to talk to you about banned books. I've been taking part in the 24 in 24 banned book challenge this year. This was set up by MJ at Reading This Life, and she put up at the end of last year a very emotional video, having just read Stephen Chbosky's Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is banned in some schools in the US. And she encouraged people to try to read 24 banned books in 2024. Now, I was going to do a video about how I was 2/3 of the way through this banned book challenge, and it was 2/3 of the way through the year. And then I started doing a bit of research about the books that I had read specifically for 24 in 24. And I discovered that actually I've read 24 banned books, because some of them that I didn't read for the 24 BB challenge were also banned. So I'm going to talk about that. And also, MJ set up, I think it was last month, she put out a call for people who wanted to read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And the reason she did that is because the state of Utah has blanket banned throughout the state schools 13 books. 13 books are no longer allowed to be stocked in school libraries. Worse than that, they have to be destroyed. They can't be sold. They can't be passed on to other people. They have to be destroyed. 6 of these 13 books are by Sarah J. Maas. 5 of them from the same series, the series being A Court of Thorns and Roses. So a group of us decided to join MJ and read this book this month. I think the majority of us have finished it now. So let's start with the Utah list. The Utah list includes, as I said, 6 books by Sarah J. Maas, and those are A Court of Thorn and Roses, A Court of Frost and Starlight, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Silver Flames, A Court of Wings and Ruin. Additionally, another book called Empire of Storms. There are 2 books by Ellen Hopkins. One is called Tilt, and the other is called Fallout, which is Crank Book 3 in the series. Alana K. Arnold has one book banned. It's called What Girls Are Made Of. Rupi Kaur has a book of poetry banned. It's called Milk and Honey. Judy Bloom has a book banned. It's called Forever. Margaret Atwood has her book Oryx and Crake banned. Craig Thompson has his book Blankets banned. We read A Court of Thorn and Roses. A whole group of us, loads of us. None of us could find any reason for this ban. Now, it's aimed at girls between about the ages of 12 and 17, I think it said. The heroine in this book, Freya, is a 19-year-old adult human. There were a handful, and I really do mean a handful, of swear words in this book. there were a couple of instances of sex between consenting adults, because Feyre, our heroine, is 19. The sex wasn't graphic by any stretch of the imagination. And really, if you don't trust your children to read books like this, there's something wrong with you. I am a parent of 2 girls. Now they are in their early 30s. Had these books been banned in libraries where they went to school when they were in their teens, early teens, I think I would have gone out and bought them and given them to them. Because the government does not tell me how to parent my child. The government does not tell me which books I should let my children read and which I shouldn't. I decided that. And if they pushed against those boundaries and read something different, I actually would have applauded them, because I would have done the same when I was a teenager. I was really surprised to find that I had finished the 24 BB banned book challenge. The books I read were 1984, which I knew had been banned, and that had been banned for social and political themes. It's been challenged at counties in Florida. It was banned wholesale in the former Soviet Union and in China. The second book I read for the banned book challenge was Black Beauty. I don't know if you know Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. It's a book about a horse. It's about love and loss and treatment of horses during Victorian times. It was banned in South Africa by the government during apartheid because it had the words black and beauty in the title. I don't know what to say about that, other than it's appalling. Now, this list that I've got here, I've just written randomly as I remembered what I'd read. This is the first one. This is the first book in my list of 24 that I read, not realizing that it had been banned, and that's Lysistrata. It's a play by Aristophanes. It was written in round about 411 BCE. It was banned in the US in 1873. It was banned in Greece by the Nazis in 1942, but then it was banned again in 1967 in Greece by the military junta at the time for pacifist, feminist, sexual, and subversive themes. If any of you have read Lysistrata, it's an absolutely hilarious play where the women of Athens and the women of Sparta, whose menfolk are at war with each other, decide they're fed up with people fighting all the time, and so that they are going to withhold sex from their menfolk until the fighting stops. It's hilarious. Brave New World. I knew I was reading as a banned book. It was banned in Ireland, Australia, and India pretty soon after it was published. It was banned in Miller, Missouri in 1980. in Norco, California in 1993, in Foley, Alabama in 2001. Many of you who are regulars on this channel know that I struggled through Ulysses in June and July. The serialized version of Ulysses was banned in the US in 1918, in Ireland in 1922, in Canada in 1922, and in England in 1923. The US actually banned it entire in 1920, and the UK banned it in 1929. Mouse by Art Spiegelman. It's a graphic novel. It's incredible. It's an absolutely incredible graphic novel detailing the author's, Art Spiegelman's, father's life in prisoner of war camps, Nazi death camps, and afterwards, and also goes into his descent into dementia. It's won major prizes. It was banned in Poland in 2001, in Russia in 2015, McKean County, Tennessee banned it in 2022, and they made it an Amazon bestseller. Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is the book that set MJ off, by Stephen Chbosky. Mainly US individual school districts have banned it. It hasn't had a wholesale ban. It's been banned for its drug and sexual themes and deemed harmful to young people. Another graphic novel, Persepolis by Mayani Satrapi, was banned in Iran and Lebanon, and was also banned by the Chicago public school system, who pulled it overnight in 2013. And in 2014 was the most challenged book on the American Library Association list. It's about the author's youth growing up through an Iranian Revolution and the Iran-Iraq War. And then her parents sent her away and she was educated in Austria. It's a beautiful book. Beautiful. I also completed a group read of Les Miserables this year. That was banned by the Vatican in 1864, and it remained banned for 94 years. So until 1959, Catholics should not have been reading Les Miserables. This one, number 10 on my list, is Heartstopper by Alice Osman. Banned in Columbia, Mississippi in 2023, Clay County, Florida in 2023, Canby, Oregon 2023. In Hungary, it was banned in 2021. Hungary having a law banning the display or promotion of homosexuality to under 18s, or it's also illegal to show porn or anything that encourages gender change to anyone under 18. Then we get to A Court of Thorns and Roses. Like I say, it's one of the Utah 13 banned books. Call of the Wild by Jack London. Banned in the 1920s and 30s in Yugoslavia, Italy, and Nazi Germany for its themes on socialism. The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. That was banned by the Nazis and the Soviet regimes. Here's one. This is a good one. Charlotte's Web. Yep, Charlotte's Web, the children's book by E.B. White about a spider. This has been banned in a select schools in the US because the animals speak. I know a lot of books in which animals speak. I mean, how innocuous is Charlotte's Web, really? I read this for Horror Mayhem earlier this year, Carrie by Stephen King. One of the most frequently banned books in the US, apparently, for violence, cursing, underage sex, and negative view of religion. Now, one reason it should be read, and I think it should be read, is because of its depiction of bullying. Another group read for me, this was in August, As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. Banned in a school district in Kentucky in 1986 for mentions of abortion, reincarnation, obscenity, and the use of God's name in vain. The Picture of Dorian Gray. Banned in the UK after publication in 1890, the press called it vulgar, unclean, poisonous, and discreditable. Another one of the Utah 13, Forever by Judy Blume. That's been banned for suggestive language, depiction of sex, a teenager who goes on the pill. And it's one of the US most frequently challenged books. I think this book was one of the most responsible books I've read about teenage sex ever. Our protagonist thought very, very carefully before she decided that she was going to have sex with her long-term boyfriend. And he'd asked her several times, but he didn't force the issue until she was ready to have sex. Before she was ready, she took advice. She took advice from literature that was available. She went to see the doctor. This surely is what you would want your teenage daughter to do before having sex, is it not? You would want her to have a partner who doesn't force the issue. And in this book, the two of them were 17 going on 18. They were 18 by the end of the book. For Garb August, I read a book called Assassination Classroom. It's about an octopus-like creature who is an alien who lands on Earth, who has taken a big chunk out of the moon and has threatened to do the same to the Earth in a year's time, unless he can be killed beforehand. And he wants to be a teacher, so they let him be a teacher. And his students try and kill him. This is a long-running manga series. There's loads of books. It was removed from some school libraries in a county in Wisconsin because they don't want to encourage students to kill their teachers. I think any sensible teenager, and most insensible teenagers, would realize that their teachers are not alien octopi and they shouldn't really shoot them. Now, there's two more from the Utah banned list. One is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. It's been banned in multiple libraries across the US, including Texas and Oregon as well. It's a book of poetry, and it does explore sexual assault and violence. But these things happen. They happen in the world. And it's down to the parent to decide whether or not their child should read it. Just because a handful of people in a school county district don't want their child to read it, well, don't let your child read it. Exert some parental authority and police your own children's reading. Don't force your views on the majority because you are the minority. And it's up to you. It's up to you to bring up your child the way you want to bring up your child. Another one of the books is Blankets by Craig Thompson. And I bought this last week and read it. It is a beautiful, beautiful graphic novel that's semi-autobiographical that discusses childhood, religion, and first love. It's like a coming-of-age book. The illustrations are lovely. The writing is lovely. But Utah compares it to pornography. It's not pornography. I almost feel like sending the legislature of Utah some real pornography so they can see what it actually looks like. That was book number 21. These, I didn't realise were banned. The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. In 1986, it was banned by a school district in South Milwaukee because of the themes of drugs and alcohol, but also because, I'm quoting here, virtually all the characters were from broken homes. Well, tell me, is that their fault? Is the child of parents who have split up or are divorced responsible for that? What message are you sending children whose parents have divorced if that's a reason for banning a book? Antigone by Sophocles. The North Vancouver School District in Canada banned this for depicting corrupt leadership. It's a Greek classic. And we return to the UK for the last one. A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh, banned in the UK because talking animals are offensive to God. Actually, that was the reason it was banned in some places in the US. It was banned in some places in the UK because the character of Piglet might be offensive to people of Jewish or Muslim faith. I mean, really? Seriously? Is this... The more I read about the banning of books, the angrier I become about it. I did a quick count of I went through several banned book lists and did a rough count. And it's a rough count partly because I can't remember what's on my bookshelf half the time. But also because I've not even scratched the surface of the number of books that were banned in other countries other than the English-speaking world. I currently have a list that I either haven't read them or I haven't read them for a long time, of 123 banned books sitting on my bookshelves. I would fully expect, once I've been through a load of foreign lists, non-English speaking lists, that number will just grow. I mean, I would imagine it will be in a couple of hundred at least. We're talking books like To Kill a Mockingbird, Of Mice and Men, The Kite Runner, Beloved, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. We're also talking things like The Witches by Roald Dahl, The Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland. Maybe we're back to the talking animal thing there. The thing that strikes me about a lot of these books is they are classics. They are recognised worldwide as classics. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. MJ sorted this out, that quite a few of us bought either sweatshirts or t-shirts. I'm going to have to stand up slowly, wait. So, Reading Rebels read banned books. And I'm going to continue to do that. MJ, thank you for opening my eyes to this, and thank you for starting the banned book challenge and the reading of ACOTAR, A Court of Thorn and Roses. I'm going to continue reading banned books. I'm going to continue to talk about banned books. September the 22nd to 29th, I think, is banned book week. It's the 15th today as I'm filming, so that's next week. Pick up a banned book and read it. Because the ones that I've read, the 24 that I've already completed this year, without exception, I would read again. I would give all of these books to my children. I would have given them to my children when they were younger, when they were within the age of children who are being denied these books. That's it. I didn't rant. I'm impressed I didn't rant. But it makes me sad more than anything else. No, it does make me furious as well. It makes me sad and furious. Read a banned book next week, if you can. You'd be surprised how easy it is to find one. Thank you very much for stopping by. It's always lovely to see you. And I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.